Micro brews, dude.
Dude. Craft brews and casual conversations joined with me, maintaining and adding to the record of appearances. His name is Gough, and he is from Down Under, as we like to say. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Drew? I'm doing very well. I'm doing very. And how are you over in Wisconsin? It's right in the middle of summertime. So I don't know, what do people in Wisconsin do in summertime?
It's been very hot lately, and I guess I don't know what you consider hot over there, but 90 degrees or more, the heat index gets a little higher. It's been disgusting. You walk out and you get very sweaty. You stumble to a bar sometimes and fuel up, and then hopefully you eat some good food along the way, and then occasionally you go swimming, and you just hope for better days, hope for cooler days. That's what I do at least.
Fair enough. You feel like you're in the Florida Everglades and you're miles away from such a place.
Right. It is. It's been pretty disgusting. But I'm seeing some lower temperatures later this week. And when I say lower, like 75, that's like perfect for me. I'll have overcast all day long, a mild breeze. Like even if it were like 65, 66, that's where I thrive. I'm a chubby man. I like to, be comfortable. I don't like going outside and then mowing the lawn and then just entering every room I go in and with just damp underwear because my ass is so sweaty.
Yes, crotch sweat is never pleasant. I'm sure that's something we can all agree on.
Yeah, so it's not enjoyable, but we're hanging in there. August is really when it's like the dog days. That's when it really gets hot. So we gotta gear up for that. But otherwise, we're doing well. How's it going over in the Golden place?
Yeah, well, we're winter at the moment, but you wouldn't know it. It's super nice. So I just had a lovely swim. Actually, it's the middle of winter, and I was having a swim. So
Nice.
Yes, it's not. We had a few cold weeks at the beginning of June to welcome in winter, but after that, it's been fantastic. What would be? It's about 20 degrees Celsius, which is probably around 75.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're probably around the same temperature, man. So it's kind of funny, but it's very very nice indeed at the moment. It's good film producing weather, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got the new flick out, Mr. X is now available at beernutsproductions.com. A little bit of a different approach, if you will, from what we've seen as of late, I should say. It's where normally there's a narrator. This is more of a narrative, and it's driven by the dialogues of the character. You play a different role other than narrator, which was good to see. So talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. So Mr. X is a hitman. I play Mr. X, and you're quite right. It's a narrative piece. So we sort of follow the story of this hitman, and he falls in love. And, love can go bad or it could go good. I'm not going to tell you how this one goes, but there's a few twists and turns along the way with this one. I wanted to do something a little bit different to the mockumentary. I wanted to do a narrative piece, like you said, but also something with some twists and turns. Still comedy, so hopefully people still laugh a lot, but something a little bit more mysterious and with a few twists and turns to keep the folks guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one definitely had aspects of it where you think you know what you're watching, but then it's like, oh, wait, now it's turned into this. But wait a minute, it's gone. It goes a little bit back and forth between different things, so you're not really sure. And yeah, which is kind of it caught me by surprise, but in a pleasant way. What inspired you to make a piece about a hitman?
Well, firstly, I thought it'd be funny to be a blind hitman. I mean, who's never going to suspect the blind guy, right? So
fair enough.
There is that. So I thought that would be that sort of tickled me to start with, and then I just thought, to be quite honest, it was over Christmas time, and I was a bit bored, and I thought to myself, I want to write something where like every scene is different, where there's a twist in every scene, and then sort of set myself that kind of a challenge. Still keep it funny, but have some twists and turns and write an actual story. So that's sort of what I did. So that was kind of the inspiration. Was more of just a bit of a challenge to myself to see what I could produce, see if I could do it. So yeah, I'm very happy with the results. I must say, I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, absolutely. When's the last time you did a flick like this?
Would have been The Kidnapping with Courtney Varley.
Oh, that's right. Yep, I remember that one.
So that would have been about 2.5 years ago. So yeah, so that was again, that was a narrative piece, but it didn't sort of have the twists and turns that this one did. So again, yeah, I like to keep my work different so that people never get bored. I want to keep people entertained. I don't want them going, oh, we've seen that before. So I always like to try something a little bit different and unusual. So yeah.
Yeah, and you did a great job. A smaller cast in this one, which was probably, I would assume, easier to shoot with the smaller cast, with the scheduling and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, you only need one person to fuck you around, I suppose. But
yeah.
But no. Look, there was a few new cast members actually. So a lot of the regular actors that I work with were not available. They were either on holidays or they were working on other things. And so I actually had to go back and do some auditions and find a few new actors like Taya, who was the main female lead. She's somebody I've never worked with before, and she crushed it. She was fantastic. But yeah, there was a few new faces in this one as well. So that was a good thing to branch out and meet some new talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I didn't recognize her before, so I thought, yeah, I'm definitely not. I don't memorize every face that's in your films. But yeah, I did not recall seeing her. But yeah, she did a really good job. She really portrayed the character. I mean, right away you kind of know who she is and what she's about within that first conversation that she has, and she really was like consistent along the whole way too in presenting that. So I thought she really did a great job.
Yeah, no, she was marvelous. It was quite funny actually. She came into the audition and she just understood the role and what was needed, and so she's absolutely crushing the audition. And in my head, I'm like, oh shit, I got to say something, otherwise she's going to think I'm like the worst director ever because I'm giving her zero direction. So I just told her something like some feeble, terrible little bit of direction, and she took it on board and did it, and it was all cool. But yeah, she crushed it right from the outset, which was fantastic. So hopefully I get to work with her again because she was marvelous and a super lovely person off the camera as well. So yeah, really cool.
When you're making these, is it? Are you like? Are you able to stop at some points and just kind of be like, oh, I'm making a movie. I'm making a short film right now. Or is it kind of like you're in tunnel vision, and then once it's done, you can finally kind of admire and be happy with what's been created?
Well, it's funny. It's a good question. So when we're actually filming, I'm all tunnel vision and focused on what needs to be done. But the week leading up to it, I kind of have to sort of get myself into gear because I do sometimes go, holy shit, man, I'm about to make a movie that's with a budget of X amount of dollars with all of these people that are relying on me to feed them instructions. This is fucked up. Who thought this was a good idea? So I do have to sort of, the few days leading up, I got to really focus my brain because I do sometimes get a little bit lost in my own daydream and thoughts. So, yeah, but when we're actually filming, it's all business, and I'm very much tunnel vision straight down the line, making sure that everything is how it should be. Because we don't have a huge crew, so there's a lot that falls on my shoulders. So I've got to make sure that, like this one, for example, Taya had a lot of costume and makeup changes, so I needed to make sure that everybody was on top of that sort of aspect of it. So it's little things like that that I've also got to make sure. Besides, obviously, telling Scott how we're shooting it and where to stick the cameras and all that sort of stuff and all of that technical stuff, and then my own performance, I've also got to make sure that the things on the peripheries are all correct as well. So yeah, there's a lot to it.
Does anyone ever give you notes on how to improve your performances when making your flicks?
Do you have notes for me, Drew?
No, I don't, but I'm just curious. Everyone's like, you know what, you're giving me these notes. I got some notes for you, actually.
I did have, funnily enough, so the young woman that plays Taya's sidekick, Matilda, her real name's Tommy in real life, but her character name was Matilda. She was in Local Heroes and played. Actually, she played a psychopath in Local Heroes as well. I apologized to her. I said, I'm typecasting you as the crazy lady. But when we finished doing the scene in Local Heroes, it was the first time I'd worked with her. And she looked at me and she said, "Oh, you've been a very good scene partner." And I said, "Oh, thank you very much. I've never had that before." So that's probably the only note I've ever had was you were a good scene partner. So okay, I'll take it. I'll take it and run with it.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's better than like, "Hey, you fucking suck." Like, but so no, good for you. Do you like when you're watching the cuts back? Are you just like, oh, do you make mental notes on how you could do something better, or is it normally?
No, I do. Like I don't. When we edit, it's the same as filming. So I do have the tunnel vision when we're editing. But when I am able to take it home and I can actually sit down and watch it as a customer for the first time at home before it goes up on the website to make sure it is all okay, that's when I sort of pay attention to my own performance. And yeah, you are right. I do go, oh, okay, I could have done that a little better, or I was a bit late on that, or I was a bit early on that, or yeah, and I do sort of critique my own performance a little bit. But yes, that's the time when I do that is after the fact, which is probably too late. But never mind, that's when it gets done. But yeah, no, I absolutely look back because I mean, it's not like I'm a Oscar-winning trained. I'm no DiCaprio.
Not yet. One day.
One day. So, well, maybe I'll start banging 20-year-old models as well, like he does. So, that'll work. But yeah, no, I do. The good part is I write the script. So when I know the character that I want to play, I can sort of write it in my sort of voice. So it's sort of just 5 degrees away from my own personality. So there's never really a huge amount of acting. I usually just ramp up the obnoxiousness when I do the mockumentaries. And with this one, it was more just trying to make the lines work for my voice when I was writing it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask you, because you are a filmmaker, you're a writer, director, actor, you do all these things. And this summer specifically has kind of been like kind of a blockbuster summer, if you will. In the worlds of, I guess you could call it to a degree, some sort of reboots or revivals. I recently saw the latest Jurassic World installment, and I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that good. Last night I watched Happy Gilmore 2, and I was like, yeah, it's all right. How do you feel about all these? Like, Jurassic World, they've been doing them all for a ton of them now, but it's like, at what point do you just stop? Like, we get it. The dinosaurs are running amok. People get eaten. You don't even need to put a story in it, as this last one seemed to prove. And then in Happy Gilmore 2, it was good. I had some laughs. It was all right, but I'm like, was it necessary? I don't know. Are we running out of ideas? You seem to be doing pretty well. You always have a good idea.
Well, maybe Adam Sandler or Spielberg should come to me, and I'll feed him with some good ideas. I watched Happy Gilmore 2 over the weekend as well, as it happens, and I agree with you totally. Like, there were some really cool cameos, like sporting cameos, and some of them had some really nice, funny lines. And Eminem was actually hilarious. That was probably the highlight for me. I thought he was great, but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't gut-bustingly roll on the floor with laughter funny. It was a little bit disappointing, I felt. I thought it was more like he was more concerned about getting in as many sporting cameos as he could over doing funny jokes, and there were a lot of flashbacks and shit as well. And I don't mind the occasional flashback, but I mean, we get it. We all like we've all seen the original. We totally get it, so it's not really necessary. So yeah, I was a little disappointed as well. But no, like I said earlier, I like to do as much different and original content as I can, no matter whether it be audio content or video content. I just like to, and I like to mix it up and keep it different so that I don't get the reactions that you gave to Jurassic World and to Happy Gilmore. I don't want those reactions. I want people to always be like, oh, okay, cool, that's new and different. That was really funny. I really enjoyed that. that's what I want. So yeah, no, I don't. Hopefully, I don't ever get stale. But yeah, that because it can happen, as you have
Yeah.
rightly pointed out.
Would you ever have you ever made a sequel? I know you kind of like you've done a revisitation in a completely like different way. But would you ever do a sequel? And then would you do a sequel in 20 years?
Well, it has crossed my mind actually. There's been a couple of so one of the first films I did called The Advertising Meeting, where I had a group of people sitting around a boardroom table, and it was essentially it was what the title is. It was a meeting at an advertising agency, and like the people, it just turns into this massive clusterfuck. And I remember Simon, my production man at the time, he loved it, and he was like, "Oh, you have to write a sequel and do another one of those because that was really funny." And it did cross my mind to do it, but it was a lot of writing, that one. It was hard work, so I didn't. I never have done that, and I did do the remake of the personal training film, which went over really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So occasionally, and I did kind of when we did the horse racing mockumentary, I did a behind the scenes documentary, which was kind of like a sequel to the very first film I did, which was called I Will Not Go Quietly. It was kind of like a sequel to that in a way. So I kind of have sort of dipped my toe into the water of that, but I haven't sort of gone balls deep. I just sort of dipped my toe in the water. But yeah, I'm not opposed to it. If it's done correctly, it can be done very well. But there's been quite a few. The one that springs to mind that was really poor, which was a shame, was when they did Dumb and Dumber 2 a few years back. That one was unfortunate, because the original is just so great, and then the sequel really it wasn't very great, and so that one was disappointing. And it does happen a lot, doesn't it, where the sequel just doesn't measure up. Sometimes it does. One that actually did was Zombieland, and then Zombieland Double Tap, the sequel that they did about 10 years later. That was really cool. I reckon the sequel was probably better than the original. That was a really cool sequel. So it can be done well, but I think it's very difficult to do it well.
Right, and I think too, especially in like Dumb and Dumber, Happy Gilmore, in doing it so late. I guess you could have a story with it. Sure, like I get like the premise of Happy Gilmore 2. I was like, I'm not against this story. I like the storyline. The execution just wasn't great. And like you said, it's like they're more focused on like how many throwbacks can we do? How many people can we bring in? And it's just like you have to, if you're going to make a sequel, your goal should be let's make something that's better than the first one for a reason. Like I'm a big fan of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. That was a great sequel. The next one's not so good, but it was quality.
Yeah, how many Home Alones did they make? It was at least 3 or 4, wasn't it?
There's I think there might be even 5, but only I only count the 2 with Macaulay Culkin. You can't.
At some point, you got to call Child Protective Services. I mean, come
Right.
on.
Yeah, really shitty parents. It's just really like neglect when you go back to it. And then Uncle Frank is like my least favorite character in cinema. He's a dick. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's so mean to this kid. But yeah, outside of that, I haven't been able to watch. I haven't watched a ton of movies that I want to see, just because with the kids we're watching whatever the hell they want to watch. But I do want to see Superman, but I hear some disappointing reviews. Well,
Oh man, I've not seen it, but everybody I've spoken to said it's shit house. So
really?
again, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment for myself. But everybody I've spoken to who's seen it has not had a kind word to say about it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, apparently it's not too flash.
Well, that's good. That's good, I guess. I mean, par for the course in the world of superhero movies. I'm kind of burnt out on them, to be honest. Like, I don't need any more Marvel movies. I've given up on trying to align. I'll watch the Spider-Man movies. I know there's a new one coming out, but it's like, what other ones do I got to fucking watch before I see this one? I don't know. And by this point, there's 30 of them. It is just too much, and you have to watch this one to understand what's going on here. And I don't like that. Treat me like I'm a moron in every movie. Like, give me something that I don't have to watch 16 hours of something to understand what's going on here.
Well, that's the good thing about Beernuts Productions. I treat you like a moron, Drew.
Yes.
Maybe that should be my new slogan.
It should be. It should be. We think you're really dumb. Therefore, we give you individual stories that it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where you end. You're going to, each one is its own piece, which is good.
Absolutely. And it's funny you should mention that, actually, because when I was designing the Beernuts Productions website with my IT man, he was like, let's do this and let's do that. And hey, we'll do logins and all this. And I said, no, I want none of that. He's like, what are you talking? I said, it needs to be the easiest website on the planet to use so that the dumbest person alive can download a film. Like, no logins, no passwords. You just add it to cart, you pay the money, you download it, and you watch it. I said, I don't, because he's like, oh, you got to keep people on your website. I said, I don't want people on my website. I want people to go there, download something, watch it, and then come back. I don't want them hanging around. I want them to be downloading and enjoying the content,
Right.
So my website was designed with that in mind. I said to him, I literally said, it needs to be so that the dumbest person on earth can use this website. And he's like, okay, I understand. So it's a little bit different to what, a business would usually do, because they usually want people to stay on their website and click around for 5 hours. But I'm not Facebook. That's not what I want. I want people to be downloading and enjoying the content. That's what I want. So yeah, it's a little bit different for me. But yes, I like to keep my work individual stories as well. So yeah, so no fear, Drew. I won't do any flashbacks to a film 5 years ago.
Good. Yeah, the simple folk, they need to be understood and recognized every once in a while as well, and appreciated for what they have to offer. They're also consumers, so you gotta think about them with all that kind of stuff. But no, the new flick was fun. It was good. I really enjoyed it, and it did keep me on my toes. So the congratulations on that. I would give it an Oscar if I were a part of the Academy, but they haven't responded to any of my emails.
Well, that just seems rude, because I would have thought that you were a perfect candidate to be a part of the Academy.
We should be. Again, they should have simple people on the Academy, not these bougie fuckers. Like, you look at the list and it's like, I've heard of one of these movies, maybe.
You're no Will Smith. You're not going to go around slapping people, You're just a dude drinking a beer, wanting to enjoy some good films.
That's right. And you're like, I'm paying you to be a dancing clown. Now dance and entertain me. Make me a balloon animal. That's what I like. Which is, people go to the movies to sometimes it's nice to go sit down in a movie and watch like something like real like deep and like makes you think and be like, holy shit. But for the most part, when I go to see a movie, I either want to see some ass kicking or maybe some ass kissing, ass kicking. I want to laugh at stupid, immature comedy, or like I just want to see just like something just mindless. That's what I like. I go to movies and stuff as an escape for the most part. And normally leaning towards more so comedy, but I love a good horror movie as well, and those are entertaining as well. So it's like that's sometimes I think people take film. You should take it seriously, but in the same time, you don't have to take it so seriously.
Well, it's supposed to be entertaining and fun. That is the point. That is the end goal. And I'm the same way, man. When I go to a comedy club, I don't like to be lectured at by the comedian. I want to sit there and listen to dick jokes and have a drink and enjoy some fun comedy. Like I was watching, it was a HBO special. I forget who the comic was. And he spent like the last 20 minutes of his set. It was really funny up until then. And then he just spent the last 20 minutes of his set just lecturing the audience. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Just go back to the jokes. Like, I don't need... That's why I'm here, to be entertained. Like, if I want to be lectured at, I would go somewhere else, and I'm not to a comedy club, So, yeah, films and that sort of stuff, man, for me, I'm with you. I want to be entertained. I want to laugh. I want silliness and good times. I don't want to think. That's the whole point. I have to think during my job and my life. I don't want to think right now. I want to turn off my brain and let some fun wash over me.
Right. And from time to time, I'll go to those ones that like kind of make you think, or I'll watch like a documentary and form an opinion and then be able to have a debate or conversation with somebody about it. But normally not. That's just not what I go for. But a side note, I recently saw a band play that's from Australia. I don't know if you've ever heard of a band called Dear Seattle.
I haven't. No.
They opened for a couple bands that I went to see, and they were pretty good. They weren't too bad, and they're like from Australia. I was like, oh, Gough probably knows them, but no.
They a hard rocking band because you like the hard rocking kind of music.
I do. They were, I would say, more like a pop punky type of band. Not too bad. They're all right. I mean, they sounded good live. They seemed like cool dudes. But yeah, do you get a lot of action with music down there over there?
Well, a lot of the music venues are closing down, unfortunately. I used to go to quite a few concerts and whatnot. There's a place up in Brisbane that I used to go to quite often. It was called the Zoo. That closed down about a year ago. The Playroom here on the Gold Coast, that closed down about 5 years ago. So yeah, a lot of the live music venues have closed down. I've only been to maybe one or two concerts this year. I am looking forward to. I got tickets to Oasis, the
nice.
the reunion. So I've got to go down to Melbourne. So I'm flying down to Melbourne to see Oasis play. I'm super excited about that because I love Oasis. But yeah, so very, very pumped about that. But yeah, there's not really the live music. What happened was, unfortunately, like 20 years ago, a law was passed where we call them poker machines. You guys call them slot machines. That it was legal to put them into bars and pubs and clubs and stuff like that. So a lot of the places ripped out the stage in the live music area and just filled it with slot machines. So every pub you go to here in Queensland now is like full of slot machines. They've got like, the place in the back where you can eat food, and some might still have a front bar where a guy might play guitar or something. But yeah, the majority of the place is now full of gambling machines. So that kind of sucked because obviously the venue makes a lot more money on gambling machines than it does on live music. But there's a debate to be had whether there should be gambling machines on every street corner. But that's for another day, one would imagine. But yeah, but going to your point, it means that there's not the same live music venues that there was back when I was, 18, 19, 20, 21, which is really sad because I love live music. Nothing's better than live entertainment, whether it be music or comedy or whatever, or theatre or whatever it might be, man. Live entertainment's the best.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Have you ever thought about like writing a play or anything like that and bringing it to the stage?
Well, there's a lot of money involved in doing something like that. So it's not that I'm against the idea. It's just producing something like that is very expensive because so it's not something that's on the agenda for the foreseeable future. But I wouldn't say no. It's not something I'm against doing. It's not something I wouldn't consider doing. But yeah, maybe in the future one day you'll have to come actually over and review it live in person because it wouldn't be something you can download.
Right. I would love to go to Australia. That would be pretty sweet. I think a lot of fun. I'd
take you to a football game instead of watching Green Bay. You can watch the Brisbane Lions play and take you to an Australian rules football game. You'll go, what the fuck are these? There's no padding. What's wrong with these guys? Your mind will be blown.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd totally be down for that. I love tapping into my inner Coliseum frequenter and cheering with the masses as people go after each other. Are you not entertained? I am. So that's what I like. Hey, football season for America is just around the corner. Fantasy football time is coming. I don't know if you do any of that down there, but it's awesome, and I love it.
Are you good at fantasy football, Drew?
I'd like to say yes. Not really. I do okay. I always get to like the point where it's like I get to the game where it's like if I win this now, then I'm guaranteed some money. and then I lose. So, which is a bit of a bummer. But I've commissioned the same league for like 15 years. A lot of the same people have been in it for that time. So, good friends of mine, and we always have fun and do a little smack talking. But it's a good time. I do enjoy it. And Sundays, some people go and dedicate their time to whatever Lord they like. I dedicate my time to the Green Bay Packers on Sundays.
That's your church. Is what is it's a fame? What is the Green Bay Packers home ground called?
Lambeau Field.
That's right, Lambeau Field. Yeah, so Lambeau Field. That's your church.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a beautiful place. A church that sells beers aplenty, brats aplenty, burgers aplenty, and it has enough space for you to vomit in a trash can when you need to. That's the kind of place I need to go to. That's my holy water.
And wear your cheese hat.
Yeah, I don't have a cheese hat, but they are available for purchase. You can get one. They just get too clunky, too much. And past a certain time, if you had one too many, that cheese head you're not bringing that home. It's going to disappear. But yes, that is true. We are. To an outsider, that's got to look bizarre. Like, what, these fucking dudes were just wearing a bunch of cheese on their head. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, luckily for you, I have spent quite a bit of time in America, so I do get it. I understand. It's the cheese capital of the United States. Oh, yeah. It's Wisconsin. It's what you do. But yes, I suppose for outsiders looking in, they would be, why the fuck are these people wearing cheese on their head? What's wrong with them? So I can, but no, I totally get it. It's a cool thing. I've never attended. I've gone to a few ice hockey games when I was over there, but I didn't go to a football game, which I would like to go to. I think that would be a lot of fun. But I enjoyed my time watching the hockey. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wisconsin does not have an NHL team, and that's due to pretty much the Chicago Blackhawks. So a lot of people like Chicago for NHL, but I'm like, I hate Chicago's baseball team. I hate their football team. I hate their basketball team. I'm sure as shit not going to root for their hockey team. So I'll find somebody else.
The NHL are kind of funny with where they've given their franchises, because there's some places where you're like, I mean, they had to close up Arizona and move them to Salt Lake City because nobody was going, because Arizona's 1,000,000 degrees outside.
Right.
Who's playing ice hockey? It's there's a few places where you're like, really, you're going to put a hockey franchise there? So and it's like Wisconsin is a cold place, man. In the middle of winter time, you got a couple of feet of snow going on. So you would have thought that they would Milwaukee or somewhere would have an NHL franchise, but not to be.
Yeah, it's something with Chicago, from my understanding. There can't be NHL team within a certain mile radius, and all of our big cities would kind of hit that. They do bring, which is stupid as well, but they'll bring the team from Minnesota, it's not the Twins, I forget what the Wild, I forget what they're called, the Wild, I think. Yeah,
Wild, yeah, Minnesota Wild.
And then they bring the Blackhawks. They've had games at Fiserv where the Milwaukee Bucks play, so they've turned that into a hockey arena, and they have those two teams essentially play. They're both away games for them, but it sells out in seconds. And it's like, all right, well, people would obviously come to these games if you fucking made it happen, but they don't.
No, because I was in Calgary. I was living in Calgary at the time when the Flames were in the NHL, the Stanley Cup final against Florida, and it blew my mind that Florida has two franchises. I'm like, and then my mate explained to me, well, all the old people from New York and whatnot all retire down in Florida, and they like their hockey. So it's quite successful down there with all the people moving from Boston and New York and all the cold places to retire down south. So that's how they get their people through the door. So it's all the old retirees. But yeah, I like the hockey. I would love to go to a football game, an NBA game would be cool as well, because the atmosphere, man, it'd be fantastic. I'd love every second of it.
Yeah, well, the next time you find yourself in America, if you're in the Midwest, the Wisconsin region, hit me up. I'll gladly attend a game at Lambeau with you. I've got a lot of good memories at that place. A lot of drunken memories too, but they're all good, Nothing to worry about.
Your photo hasn't been put up on the door. Don't let this man in. That hasn't happened just yet.
No, not quite yet. I don't think it ever will. As I get older, I'm slowing down my all that kind of stuff. But yes, it is pretty great, man. But the new flick is called Mr. X. How can they get a hold of it? How can they get a hold of all the things Beernuts Productions?
Absolutely. So, yes, you can download Mr. X from beernutsproductions.com. We're all over the socials. So, whether YouTube, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're on, we're on. So, you just type in Beernuts Productions and we'll pop up and give us a like and a share and a follow. And, get into all the good stuff that we produce. It's 34 films now. So,
Damn.
There's heaps of films. There's audio downloads. There's podcasts. So there's tons of fantastic entertainment at beernutsproductions.com, including Mr. X, the brand new film.
Always a pleasure to have you, Gough. Make sure to check them out, download all the films, and if you're in a workplace relationship, keep your eyes open.
That's good advice. Good advice.